Alright, it's recording. Alright. What's up, guys? I'm back with part two of What If Deku was Kratos. And, I was thinking about some stuff. Alright, so, before I start up the story, I want to, get some points across. Alright, so, I was thinking about it, bro. I think I'm gonna make Deku a long descendant of Kratos. Because I was thinking about, I'm like, shoot, should I just, yeah. So, Deku's, Deku, that means that Deku has godly powers, but I'm gonna say with his godly powers they were fused in with his quirk. So it I don't know. It doesn't look suspicious if he's quirkless but he has powers, so it would just do that. So, but still, if no one had a quirk, Deku would still have his powers. And I'm gonna say Deku took after Kratos and his powers because it would make a good story, I guess. I don't know the best way of describing it, but if you watch Dragon Ball GT, at the end there was a scene of Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. So it's basically that. I could probably put a picture of it or a scene of it on screen. But yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way because I've been thinking about that. But yeah, let's get into it. Um so All Might asked who Bakugo was because I think I left off on Deku mentioning Bakugo's name. And Deku said he was below him in ranking on second place. So All Might asked if Bakugo had a better personality than Deku. And Deku he just looked at All Might with an annoyed glare. And then he said Bakugo was similar to his personality but more annoying. Then he says that Bakugo does have potential though, if he was trained by the right people, aka him. But so All Might says it's good enough and wants to meet him. So because if Deku's what is it, mentioning him, then it has to be decent. So Deku texted up Bakugo to go to the beach for saying that they're gonna fight. But yeah, what the heck. I don't know who that is, but they just replied or commented. But all right, let's see, where was that? Dang it. uh, oh yeah, so he showed up 10 minutes later, I'm gonna say, and Deku said they weren't going to fight yet, and that he wants him to meet someone. So Bakugo turns to where Deku's pointing at, and he sees Small Might. And Bakugo says why is there a soggy French fry standing in front of him? And All Might, when he hears that, he just spits out blood. But because bro, honestly though, dude, Small Might does look like one of those soggy French fries that you would get out of a McDonald's thing or something like that. But so Deku said if he wants to become stronger, he asked yo, didn't you don't you want to become stronger? So Bakugo takes a second and looks down and he just says in a defeated tone yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah. But um yeah, so he just does it, and then Deku tells All Might to buff up. So when Bakugo sees All Might, he freaks out. He's like, "Yo, what the heck? Weren't you just a soggy French fry?" But all right. And All Might tells him about his injury, and Bakugo hates how All Might has an injury. Then asks Deku why, why'd you tell me about power? And Deku just tells All Might to answer the question because he can't be asked. And All Might tells Bakugo if he wants his power. Bakugo says that's impossible, but then Deku forces Bakugo to answer the question because he doesn't care. He at least wants to see what the power does. So, you know, Bakugo responds by saying yes, and then All Might then explains his quirk to Bakugo. So when All Might finishes, Bakugo stands still, and then Bakugo looks out again and asks if it would make him stronger. All Might replies with a yes because it's an enhancement quirk. Then Bakugo asks like, why isn't Deku getting it? Deku just responds saying like he doesn't want to pity power, but knows Bakugo secretly wants more power. So Bakugo gets angry, like while looking at him, but then he admits to it because he Deku knows like he's always like Bakugo's always been trying to catch up to him but never could, and he thought like this would be the best option for him. And because like Deku knows like no one can beat him, so All Might asks like Bakugo again if he wants his power, and Bakugo agrees to it and takes All Might's hair and eats it. So All Might tells Bakugo it'll take a few minutes to digest. Yeah, I can speak still, but Deku looks down on Bakugo, saying that he has no pride. Like, yo, you don't got that saying pride, but did the right thing. Like he did do the right thing because secretly Deku wants to see what the power does. So a few minutes go by and Bakugo feels like a change to his quirk. So All Might tells Bakugo to do like the smallest explosion that he could do. So Bakugo does it with like one of those little. I want to say it's like in his like attempt to do like the smallest explosion. It's like one of those little pop things. Like you snap in your fingers and it like sounds like a little like pop. You know, it's basically one of those. But when he does that, bro, the explosion turned into a rocket. It turned into a rocket-sized explosion, and Bakugo just screams in pain as his arm was like starting to turn purple because he was expecting those little bitty pops. He wasn't expecting like a rocket-sized explosion. And oh shoot, I need to take. Well, need to get my water because I finally have water now, bro. Water and tea has to be like the best thing in the world. But let's see, where is that? Oh yeah, so his arm is turning purple now because he wasn't expecting that. So All Might and Deku took him to see like Recovery Girl, and he was healed, but it did take a bit to go there. So Bakugo sat up, saying like he was trying to do like the smallest explosion possible, but he just wasn't expecting that. So Deku took an interest, then said like he better control the power or he could kill himself. But secretly Deku's like, dang, like yeah, that's pretty cool. Like inside of his head, he doesn't want to say it because there's no need. It's never gonna comprehend like it's never gonna beat him. So no. But so All Might said like he could be unstoppable with that power, but then Deku just has Deku has like what is it called? A small like chuckle, and then said Bakugo couldn't beat him even with an enhancement quirk. So Bakugo yelled back, saying like he screwed up by not taking the quirk. Deku answers back like in a serious tone this time, saying like it's a coward's choice to be that low for power. Just looking at Sasuke, but all right, no, I need, dude, Sasuke, adult Sasuke's pretty good. So I won't go after him, but Bakugo like he scubs and says under his breath that there was no other choice to catch up to him, which Deku he just like lets it go because he knew that before like Bakugo even took the quirk. So Recovery Girl charmed in and said like if they make it to UA, don't make her worn out with all the medical attention. She's trying to get rid of that conversation between Deku and Bakugo, like getting annoyed. And All Might said like they'll try and told Bakugo that he will train him with One for All. And Deku said like he'll come too to make sure like he isn't getting big headed. Because secretly like Deku does want to like train Bakugo as well. Because like it'll be like a rival against him, so why not? So the 10 months go by, and Bakugo, at the end of it, Bakugo and Deku, like, they're practically prepared for war to break down. Like, bro, they're, like, legit. If you were to compare them to, like, an actual full-sized war, just Deku alone is, like, I'm gonna say it's America's military. Yeah, it's basically just America's military times like 100 or something like that. I don't know. And then Bakugo is like half of that, I'm gonna say. But they're both already the strongest people in the world. So, so let's see, where is that? Well, yeah, so Bakugo was taught by Deku because like I'm gonna go like that was the end of the 10 months, but I'm gonna go like what they did during it. So Bakugo was taught by Deku about battle experience and strategic intelligence because Deku's on that Spartan stuff. So Bakugo is being Bakugo in Deku's eyes is like a beginning Spartan warrior, which is really big for like being acknowledged by Deku. So Deku gained like a scar on his right eye because of Bakugo getting him off his guard on their fight with like blades. And when Bakugo did cut Deku, he went into Spartan rage, bro. He went into Spartan rage, did his war cry, and then it terrorized like All Might and Bakugo. Like it terrified them to death. But Deku made them both almost die when he was finished with like fighting them. Like, bro, they were on the ground with blood everywhere. Like, bro, they were like 1 second away from dying. But later on, Bakugo like apologized, and Deku said like it was a good thing he had godly regeneration and restored his eye, or Bakugo would have been killed like on the spot. But then Deku said like he was proud that Bakugo got, or I'm gonna say like not proud. He just commended him like that he got through his defenses and acknowledged his growth and intelligence. Because like Bakugo and Deku like they used blades like Bakugo used like I'm gonna say a sword. Yeah, okay. So yeah, like Bakugo was using a sword and Deku finally uses blades, which I'm gonna get on that later, I think. But All Might didn't like the fact that Deku nearly killed them both because nah, like no, he's still the symbol of peace. Like he can't die yet, but he was glad that they were all right. So Bakugo also has like a massive scar across his chest by being cut with Deku's blades of chaos, which it's like deep. It's like Zoro's, like if you've seen like One Piece, it's like Zoro's scar, but it's like bigger. I'm gonna say it's like Kratos is inside the picture, like on his stomach. It's like that, but going like further across his chest, and it has like burn marks on it because Deku's blades of chaos, like they have the fire on it. But Bakugo was glad like he finally got to fight against Deku's blade, and he looks at the scar as if it was like an achievement or something. So Bakugo also has like full cowling with 50% control. So yeah, because why not, bro? Bakugo is a beginning Spartan warrior. Like you already know if he's a Spartan warrior, he has to be OP. So All Might, shoot. I'm trying to think of what I could say. All Might said like they were both fully ready to go like take the exams and wish them both good luck. Just after that, and Deku walks off, and Bakugo says like, Deku just walks off like, yo, he doesn't need to turn back or anything. But Bakugo turns back and says like they don't need it. So they both arrive at UA, and as soon as they both walk into like the front and like start walking down the path, like everyone looked at them both, and Deku kept walking with a blank and battle ready expression as Bakugo did the same. Bro, this heartburn, bro. I don't know why, but every single video all of a sudden it's like I have heartburn. It sucks. All right. Yeah, but they both like look like they're about to kill everybody in there. But the boys were kind of intimidated, like, because of Deku's blades and like his scar across his face with his tattoo. And they think like he looks kind of familiar, but the girls on the other hand, they were trying to talk to him. But all right, Deku sat on like a bench, looking at everyone around him, like taking notes because he's on that intelligence level. Like he's trying to take notes and like guess what their quirks are. And Bakugo was trying to like find somewhere to rest because they both like take their rest. Like, they're always prepared for battle, so they want to get like the most rest that they have. And they both later take the writing exam, and they both get high scores, like because they're both smart. And in the auditorium, I'm saying they paid attention as like others whispered about Deku's tattoo, blades, and scar, with Bakugo's like toned body similar to Deku. And of course, like they're both not doing anything, but Ida, being Ida, he got annoyed that people were like whispering about them and yelled how like there's nothing interesting about them, which makes Ida look so stupid because bro, Deku literally has blades on him with a tattoo, a red tattoo going across his like face, and it is also like like going across his arm and chest, but yeah. They can't see that yet. So, yeah, so Ida just looks stupid. And Deku just glanced at Ida, and it made him start to shiver and sweat instantly, interrupting like what he was saying. And people saw this, so he sat down and President Mike just continued, and it only made others like talk about them more. And then I'm gonna say like some dude they find out, like they realized it was the rumored God of War, and then a lot of people were like, oh shoot, like I think it is, because a lot of people started to find out who Deku was because of his reputation of power, but also like because I'm gonna say some people like they try and do research because people know that they've seen something in the history books about Deku's like tattoo and like blades. So they're trying to find it out, but they just say like it's the God of War. They don't know who Kratos is yet, so just hold up. I'm trying to think what could I do about the story about Kratos, but I'll just put that as a problem for like my future self. But so after that, Deku went to the gate, and Bakugo went to his area too. So they split up. And Deku already knew he was going to get the high score, but Ida didn't walk up to Deku this time because he was too scared to interact with him. And everyone around Deku, bro, they was staring at him and waiting. And, I mean, and was talking about like how he's the God of War. And then some people were trying to talk to Deku, and he decided to do what they wanted. I mean, they decided Deku. Dang it, Deku decided to like respond to him, so then people wouldn't freak out because he does want to become like the number one hero. So, and he doesn't want to be like scared of like Endeavor is. So, most of them were girls, of course, but and then the guys just wanted to see his blades. So after a few questions were answered, like Deku just started to walk towards the front, and people like they moved out of the way to make a path, like a pathway, but Deku told everyone like to have a bit more pride, like, and don't treat him like royalty because that's just stupid. Like, no, don't. And Deku, when he did get to the front, he pulled out his blades, and they were surrounded by fire. So everyone started to question the fire on his blades, but the doors opened. Like, they were questioning the fire, and like also saying how cool that looked because at this point Deku looks like the picture, like how Kratos is holding his blades, that's how it looks like as he's like standing in front of the gate. So you already know, like, if that's something like, you're gonna be like, oh shoot bro, that was a guard. But so the doors, they started open, and Deku jumped up in the air, like throwing his blades to launch himself forward to like the closest robot. And in a matter of seconds, Deku already destroyed half of the overall robot. So everyone's seen it, and they were more scared than impressed, but they still were impressed. So Deku was like ripping some of the robots in half with his own hands, bro. He was obliterating them with his blades, left and right, bro. Like, yo. But Deku decided to let others he just stopped and let others get points because he wants to at least see somebody pass. But then he felt that there was a large opponent coming near. So Deku, he just looked up and seen the 0 point robot, and Deku instantly launched himself forward, and he launched himself towards it and looked up at it. And Deku then heard a scream in front of him, and he seen that it was a girl. So Deku launched himself towards her and lifted the rocks to get her out, but then he took her away far enough from the robot and sat her down. So Deku just turned around looking at the robot again. He yelled at it to get its attention. Then the robot looked down at Deku, and he was already trying to swing at him. But this is Kratos. So, you know, uh, others watched as Deku was getting the robot's attention and seen Deku have an angry look on his face. So Deku held back his blades and threw it at the robot, and he caught it on the leg of the he caught onto the leg of the robot, and he was just using his blades to climb it, how he does with Kronos, I think, in God of War 3 and 1, I think. I don't know. Bro, Deku's been climbing Kronos for yeah, Kratos was climbing Kronos. Yeah, I can speak. But yeah, so the robot is on his knee because he was destroying his leg as he was climbing up. And Deku threw one of his blades towards the robot's arm and swung on it, swung to its fingers, destroying everything he lands on. So yeah, the robot's on his knee and is trying to move Deku's arm off. I mean, trying to move Deku off his arm because he doesn't want that. So Deku was melting off the other hand that was trying to get to him and punches it away because Deku does have that strength. And Deku ran up the rest of the robot, put his blade in the robot's eye, and then Deku just leaped back and pushed himself into the robot's face, coming out the other side. And the robot started to blow up as Deku landed back down, and everyone stood still as they seen the robot come down. Bro, they were amazed about Deku's performance on that. So everyone, they saw Deku standing with his blades in his hands, putting him away, on his back, and Deku turned around walking to the girl he saved and helped her up. And Deku asked what her name was, and she just responded with Uraraka. So Deku told her he was taking her to Recovery Girl. So when Deku came back, everyone was still standing there, and they started to cheer, saying that he truly is the God of War. But Deku just yelled at them all, saying they were all weak running away from the robot, and asked why are they even there in the first place? If they want to be heroes, why are you running away? So everyone just went silent as Deku just walked out because no. And I'm gonna say he, after that was finished, he went to the beach to meet up with All Might and Bakugo because All Might told him hey, meet me at the beach when you guys are done. And I think I'm gonna leave it off there. It was, I feel it was kind of short, but next part you already know it's gonna be kind of, yeah. Oh yeah, I guess it will be better next part. But ooh, okay, so things to clear up. I think I should probably say this. So of course, Deku could have easily one-shotted the 0 point robot. But, I feel it made it a better and longer fight instead of just punching it one time. So don't underestimate Deku, who is literally equivalent to Kratos, bro. I feel Deku, if he wanted to, he could have destroyed it instantly, how in canon, but he could have done it so much more faster. So don't underestimate him. But Deku isn't ashy or gray since like he didn't lose or kill anyone close to him. But it is a possibility. Like he is of course Kratos Jr. if you wanted to put it in Dragon Ball terms. But yeah, so he isn't gray yet, and he's not bald. He still has his hair. Okay, so he's built like Kratos in God of War 3. I think I already told you that. Told that too. So yeah, he's not bald, but Deku's not as angry as Kratos since he doesn't have the need for vengeance. But it could happen. So Bakugo is like the closest thing that Deku counts as a friend, saying that he did train him during the 10 months. So you know, I'll get more on that maybe in the next part, but yeah, I'm gonna say it was like that, and yeah, just don't underestimate Deku in this part. So um, yeah, I think the next video I might as well say it, the next video that I'm gonna make will be the Ultra Instinct. So yeah, catch up with that, and I think I'll probably post it on Monday because I ain't posting on weekends. Forget that. Yeah, so yeah, let me get on with my outro and then I can tell you guys goodbye. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in the next one. Remember, don't be an Ida, and peace out.